What about Opium Twinz? People were asking me what's good with Cardi. Well, nothing's going on with Cardi. And I think the reason that artists, it's a smart idea when you're a big artist to sign other artists, is because they essentially, it's like having a kid. You prolong your legacy. Ultimately, biologically, your only reason to be on this planet, technically speaking, is to reproduce. So as an artist, if you relate, I mean, it doesn't necessarily correlate all the way, but you need to reproduce, create your own label or put on newer artists, and then you don't have to work as hard. It's like passive income. Basically, you don't have to drop. Cardi doesn't have to drop. And you know who's dropping? Now Ken Carson is dropping. Destroy Lonely is dropping. Well, Destroy Lonely went on an Our Generation music interview with M. Well and was like, oh, I'm not telling you when I'm dropping No Stylist. Probably because everyone knew that you got no stylist, bro. You need one. Nah, that's no diss. I fuck with Destroy Lonely. But Ken Carson did say that he was dropping 2 projects. Let's check it out real quick. He said, right here. He said exactly X and X2 on his spam page. Someone said deluxe or 2 albums. He says 2. Now, what some people were saying was this is Project Extended and X-Man. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but maybe it is X-Man. And then the second project he teased, when is the Opium Twinz tape coming? Now, I don't know if it's necessarily called Opium Twinz because Emerson, that was just a comment. That was like a fan. And again, that's not a diss, just calling him a fan. Like everyone's a fan here. But he said any day now. So it might be a SoundCloud tape because come on, Destroy Lonely don't drop official releases. In fact, I was arguing with someone about like Destroy Lonely dropping music. Like he only dropped once in the last year or something like that. And then they were like, what are you talking about? He dropped 3 times this year alone in 2022. And I was like, damn, like I checked his Spotify, he did, but your boy, he did not. 2 of the songs were actually taken off, or one of them at least. So they weren't official releases. People be using his page as an archive page. But yeah, so what I was saying was, it's unfortunate that Cardi's not actually dropping, but he's got other artists doing it for him. Ken Carson's carrying through the legacy pretty nicely. You know, he's doing his little underscore thing. Cardi, what is it? Cardi-nese? But he got his own thing. Carsonese. I don't know. It doesn't roll off the tongue as well. But we don't know when it's dropping. X-Men is supposed to drop soon. Actually, no. May 13th. So we got Ken Carson and Kendrick Lamar. We also got what? Can, who it might be dropping with Lucky because they were seen in the studio together and in a vlog. But back to Ken and Destroy Lonely. I was thinking, and maybe I'm like forcing it here. This could be a complete reach. But maybe Ken and Destroy are dropping together because, and maybe it's planned and orchestrated by Cardi as well, even though they've dropped together before. But we always talk about how Ken is more up than Destroy Lonely right now. Now, potential wise, some people go on side Destroy Lonely and some people think Ken Carson's better. By the way, in the chat, let me know who you actually think is better. Before I thought it was Destroy. Actually, I was originally Ken, then I went Destroy. I'm back on Ken's side because Destroy Lonely just literally don't drop. Ken actually, like, he feeds the, like, I ain't trying to be a cancer patient out here like on fucking chemotherapy, bro. I'm trying to be a fat ass with music. Why you think people became Yeet fans? So I'm on Team Ken right now. So what if Cardi was like, yo, bruh, how about Ken to get Destroy Lonely's hype up before No Stylist, because he's still not that big, although I do think that it would get enough hype because again, it's a Cardi artist. Why don't y'all drop a tape prior to both of y'all's albums and get the hype up, similar to like a 1629, but it's just Opium Twinz. It's not as much hype, but that would almost like even out the playing field. Like Ken's up here, right? He's got this fan base. I don't know how many followers Destroy Lonely has. Let's actually check that shit. Destroy Lonely. It's got to be less than Ken Carson though. He's got, it looks like 149, whereas Ken Carson probably got like what, 400, 200. Okay, so he's got more than double though. 156k engagement, 76. So he's about double the size, maybe a little bit more. But so like before Destroy Lonely drops, why don't we get Destroy up? So then they start competing. Because what does competition do? Why does the government try to implement regulations against monopolies? Because they want to keep that competition to help out the user, the listener. So I'm just saying, maybe Cardi's smarter than all of us, or maybe they're just doing this because they collab a lot. You know, I don't, half the time with these rappers, like we be thinking correlation with a bunch of, I don't know, marketing strategies. Actually, I don't know, it was the reasoning behind why they did it, when in reality they could just be bullshitting, and then it just happens and like we all think it's like crazy because they are good artists. You know what I mean? Who's at the top of the underground right now? I would say Ken Carson. I would say Ken Carson. If they were all to drop an album right now, the top of the underground for me would be like, who would sell the most? Because that's like the top dog. Like Drake is the top dog in rap in general. So Ken Carson would probably sell the most. Who else do we got? We got Yeet, Sofago, but they're not underground anymore. Ken Carson I would still consider underground, although he's, you know, getting 1 million views on music videos and shit. I don't even know what underground is anymore. We got Jace, but I don't think that he would do as well as Ken either. So who else? Ken is definitely above Summers and Autumn. Ken has no vids with an M. What are you talking about, bruh? Let me go check that right now. Literally right here. What the fuck are you talking about? The first one, 1.2 mil. Go suck Ken Carson's penis, bro. Sorry.